Okay, so here we are once again talking about stairs. I don't think you can really talk about them too much, and you certainly can't plan for them and or around them too much. I had actually made a previous video about this, but just it was kind of long and drawn out. So I want to do a quicker one here, but actually include some video of the actual construction of these. So this two-dimensional section I'm doing here is representative of that section that I took through the 3D model. You can see the floor trusses on either side. You can see the opening should be 13 foot and 1/2 inch to the framing. Yep. And so all of this was pre-planned. Pre-planned out, having that opening that wide based on this amount of headroom here, which we get to measure to this stair. It's 7 feet 5, and even if the building inspector wanted to be mean that day and measure to that, tread, we still have 6 foot 10, which meets code, which is 6 foot 8 in the clear. I like to have 7 feet because I feel like that's a better clearance. But you're struggling to make these risers. Like I wanted to make these risers 7 3/16. The other option was 7 5/8. You see, a little steeper stair would have pushed this back, and I would have had that extra headroom. But I'm splitting the difference on making it easy because one of the things you need to keep in mind is that the code does not allow more than 12 foot of rise before you have to have a landing. So we just met that requirement. As a matter of fact, this whole basement was planned on that one requirement. my concrete walls are 11 foot 9, and that goes back to some earlier videos. But through this whole process of the foundation, I have planned on my slab being at 11 foot 9 from the top of the concrete wall to the bottom of the concrete. So anyway, I didn't want to get off into too many different areas, but the most important thing here to remember is that you need to plan your stairs out, okay? And the most important thing is if you're the homeowner, you have to commit to the floor thickness, the finished floor thickness, okay? And then in our case, it's 1/2 inch engineered flooring, okay? It's this 1/2 inch right here. And you need to know that, and you need to know what the top to the bottom floor covering is going to be. And in our case, it's the same. It's 1/2 inch. This is going to be a floating floor down here on a pad, which total thickness about 1/2 inch. Do not start building your stairs without knowing what your finished floors are going to be. If you are the owner, just suck it up and make a decision and stick to it. Okay? If you are working for an owner, you send them an email a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance, and ask them to make a determination on the finished floor thickness, and tell them that you cannot start planning or building the stair until you know what this is, okay? Let's say, for example, if I had used 7 5/8 for a riser height, and I had planned on this 1/2 inch, if the owner ends up doing like a hardwood and adding a 1/4 inch thickness to this, all of a sudden I'm breaking code. I've got a code violation on my hand, okay? Because that pushes my riser over 7 3/4. These are all the complicated issues. They're not complicated if you plan them, okay? The most important thing, remember, is that you have to determine and just stick to this thickness. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? So then you will know what it is, your definite height from your finished floor to your finished floor, okay? 11 feet 4 3/4, and that's exactly what it is. We measured it 3 times. We took that number, and in the previous video on this, you will see that we divided that 11 foot 4 3/4 by, what was it, 18, and we came up with 7 3/16 is our riser height. That's our finished riser height. I have also planned out all my riser material, you can see here, and this is my Advantech, this layer right here, and you'll see that in the video just shortly. This is also Advantech that we added to the face of the trusses so that we would have something to lean and nail our stringers to. One thing you want to do is just go ahead, and if you don't know how to use some kind of simple CAD program, learn that new skill enough to plan out your stairs. Because the next important thing is getting this stringer height, this riser height of the first riser correct. And because you can see here, if we measure our finished riser is in fact 7 3/16. But guess what? We have to allow for our finished floor thickness, and we have to allow for our Advantech, which I use on all my stairs as a subfloor for my stairs. Yes, not many carpenters do that, but I do it. And then you would have your finished tread, which is 1 inch thick. That gives you, if you have a 7 3/16 riser, 5 15/16. Now, when I give that number to Paco, he always rolls his eyes, but then when he thinks about it, he's like, oh yeah, it's got to be that. And you cut that off the bottom of your stringer. You do not cut it off the top of the tread, okay? Because that would change that would change the relationship between this one, your first and second tread. Okay, so I want to get into the video now, but I just wanted to kind of do a checklist of things that are important. First, your overall height can't be more than 12 feet without a landing. You need to plan out your stair opening width. Make sure, and that's because you need to have this headroom right here, okay? And make sure you do what I did. Go ahead and check both of these. Make sure if the building inspector is in one of those moods and he says, no, I want this one to be 6'8", because I would claim my head height is 7'5", so they're supposed to measure directly down to the step that hits, okay? But I always make sure the next one is at least 6'8", and I've got 6'10", so we're good, okay? Those are the important aspects of this. Now I'm going to go to the video, and you'll get to see Paco laying out these long stringers, which are over 18 feet long, 18 feet 5, I believe. So I had to buy 24 foot 2x12s, and let's just go into the video now.
Yeah, tell them we don't got those nuts because we lose them all the time.
These nuts?
Yeah.
Got it on 7 3/16 and 10. This is a long set too. These are 20 foot 2x12s. We got 18 risers, or 19 risers and 18 treads. Our risers 7 3/16, and our treads are 10.
Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 18.
Yeah. And our bottom one is cut off for the Advantech and the tread. So we have 7 3/16 risers, so that's 5 15/16. So we're just going to cut the bottom and the top, and then we'll test it. We'll also check our headroom at whichever stair is closest to our headroom. We'll measure it to make sure we don't need to adjust anything.
No, close to you. Right here, right here, right there. Oh yeah, we got 7 foot and 38. We good, man.
What is it?
You got 7 foot on that one right there. That's good, you know.
Right. Well, yeah, and it should be about 6'10" by the time we add our Advantech and our tread.
It's still that's good, you know.
Yeah, yeah. What we're looking for is to check our headroom. Before we cut all of our stringers out, we measure down to the line on the one that's close to this headroom to make sure we got our 6'8", and we're going to have about 6'10". Now we can cut out our risers and treads. Now that we've verified that you don't want to get that whole thing cut and then come to find out it's wrong. So. You remember this over there?
You got two, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just get rid of it though.
I just slide it back.
Yeah. No break right here.
Yeah. This grain is running across here like this. This way. It makes these triangles really weak because so you can see if you get a crack, these things can just snap off. So you have to be careful with them. Is the cameraman in the way?
No.
All that planning that we did came in handy, but now it's time to say goodbye to that. Do it. Now, this tip of ore serves several purposes. It helps to strengthen the stringer, but it also spaces it off the wall so you can slide drywall and your skirt board down here so you don't have to notch out your drywall and skirt board. So it serves several purposes. We could put a piece of Tyvek down there.
Alright, that's good.
You want to cut a piece of Tyvek and put down there?
I'll be okay. We block it. Okay, go that way. Go that way. Go, man, go. Hold it right there. Push it up to me. Hold it there. You got it? Yeah. Okay, don't wait.
This spaced creates. Now you can slide your drywall down there and your skirt board.
We good, boy. My dear one.
We got exciting things going on today. We got trusses coming. We got Barrett on the job. As long as we don't hook the power line, we'll be okay. Touching it isn't really here again. Eudemus, good job. Can't even go run an errand. And Paco knocks it out. Now you see those have Advantech on them, and that's permanent. Okay, very safe construction stairs, and they'll make your treads a lot stronger. Most carpenters will just nail the tread right down to the stringer. But if you will allow for it here, just lower your stringer 3/4 and cut another 3/4 off the bottom, like I was showing you in the drawing. Then you'll have very strong steps. And we always use 4 stringers.